Hi everybody, this is Kim Harbage and I'm giving you a segment from Detoxing Your Kitchen where we are digging a little bit deeper into the labels on different foods. I'm just gonna scratch the surface and because there's just so much, I'm gonna go quickly so that you know some of the things that we pay attention to in our household. And I will also give you a caveat. We're not perfect. There are things that we are still working on. And as we discover new things, either things don't come home from the grocery or we get them home and then we hear something else and then it goes in the trash. Because I have this motto too, that as a health coach, if I'm not going to give it to my family, I'm certainly not going to give it to friends and family who are visiting us either. So it's as good as once I read it and I have it in my head that we're not going to have it, then it's just kind of that way. So I thought that I would start, and you guys have to see this. This is kind of just a glimpse. My family has been like, where's the peanut butter? Where's the whatever? Like I have been grabbing things all day long just so that I could show them to you so that you know what to look for in your kitchen on some of the ingredients. We're going to be spending some more time too on things that don't have labels like foods and proteins and just different fruits and vegetables as well. But I thought I would start here. So today happens to be Cinco de Mayo. And there's lots of celebrations that are going on with this. We love Mexican food in our house. And I know that I have received questions about different oils and their seasonings that I do on a regular basis that I love to cook, and I shared that with you guys. So I'm going to share a couple of my hacks for seasonings for Mexican food, salad dressings, different things like that. So I'm just going to go through it, right? I'm going to start out with, let's see, dairy, because it's sitting here on my cabinet or on my table. So I will go over this more too about why, but I pay particular attention to being grass-fed. Is my milk grass-fed? And I don't drink this. I actually turn this into yogurt. I'm one of those people that I have an Instant Pot and I absolutely love it. And I will turn this milk that I absolutely love. I know exactly what's in it. I love the fact that it's grass-fed. I'll tell you more about that later. But then I have an Instant Pot and I spend 2 days. It's so simple. That sounds like a long time, but really it's a lot of just like sitting and incubating. And I make my own yogurt. This is Greek yogurt that is high in protein content. There is no sugar added to this. There are no sweeteners. And it's really great milk. And it tastes delicious. And then we can add our own things to that, like honey. This is one that we use, raw organic honey. This we get from Costco in a 3-pack. Honey is actually one of those things that is good for you. If you can get it locally, even better, because then you get the pollens from your local area. This is a sweetener that we use on the regular basis. Another sweetener that we use is maple syrup. Again, organic and 100% maple syrup. Another really good option for sweetening things. You can get maple sugar, which is also very tasty, and it just is dried out and then re-granulated maple syrup. Also another option for sweetening. Have you guys heard of monk fruit? This is another one that we use. It tastes delicious. It was actually discovered by monks, which is why it is called monk fruit, and it is an actual fruit. It's 0 calories, 0 glycemic index. It tastes and cooks and everything just like sugar. So if you want to sprinkle just a little bit, you know, again, sugar is sugar, and your body will react to it that way, but there are definitely some healthier options. When it comes to just using cane sugar, we use organic cane sugar. It's not as refined, and that's really the most important thing, is to find things that haven't been processed as much. It's really hard when you're looking in a bag or you're looking on the shelf or you're looking in boxes because all of those have been processed. We want to use those as sparingly as we possibly can, but these are some options. Oh, maple syrup on the floor. Let me make sure it's not open. I know that people ask me about stevia and Truvia and some of those things. So here's one Pure Via that is in a packet. This now sits in a shelf on our house because it is actually mixed with some other things. It's not pure stevia. There are some options that are just pure stevia, and that's going to be your better option. So even this, I do not recommend. This stevia in the raw, this is actually mixed with other things. Stevia extract and maltodextrin. We don't want anything to be mixed with anything, especially maltodextrin. It's not horrible for us, but if we can stay away from it, even better. So this is also a no. It sits on the counter and does nothing. That's your sweeteners. Back to dairy, just real quickly. Again, you're gonna see that we choose this butter, and fat is actually good for you. I know that there's a lot of things out there that talk about fat being bad. We'll talk some more about that later. It's actually something that I offered my program to go into more detail about this. But again, this is grass-fed butter. And I'll share more about why that is so important. But remember this, you are what you eat eats. So if you have commercially raised cattle, they're eating genetically modified corn, they're being fattened up with antibiotics, they have all different kinds of things, and that makes its way into their byproducts as well, including their milk, including their butter, and everything else. So that's why that's important. Have you guys heard of ghee? I'm just moving into some more fats. This is ghee. Again, it is from grass-fed cows and butter. And they process this in such a way that it takes out all of the milk solids from the butter. So this is shelf stable. It tastes like really potent butter, but it's great for cooking eggs, adding some fat. If you can't do dairy, this has most of the dairy part, the solids removed from it. So it's a good option. It's also good in high heat. That's one of the things that we pay attention to as we're choosing different fats. So two that we use in our house primarily, like we buy them in big jugs and we go through these very quickly, is this is again, organic, extra virgin olive oil. This is great for salad dressings, for low heat cooking. The thing about olive oil is that it's fragile, and if you cook it at a higher temperature, it becomes a carcinogen in your body. Carcinogens are not good. So this we use for salad dressings, adding some flavor, taste, and low heat cooking. When I need to cook something in higher heat, I use avocado oil. And again, this is organic. It is good. It has hardly any flavor to it whatsoever. So that's a really good thing too. And it's better at high heat. So if I'm roasting vegetables or something like that, or roasting meats or grilling meats and I want to have a little bit of oil on it beforehand, I will put it, use the avocado oil in that case. Underneath here, one other option that we use is organic coconut oil. I remember when I first started hearing about this, I was like, what? Coconut oil is supposed to be bad for you. It's actually not. Coconuts are very good for us. And the fat from it is also really good too. So we use this. Again, it adds a little bit of flavor, so you can use it like you do butter in baking. And it adds a little bit of a coconut flavor. I put it on top of cooked oats with cinnamon and raisins or nuts or something, and it adds just a little bit of that yummy flavor. And I'll share some more later too about why fat is actually good for us, and it can actually help us lose weight, keeps us satiated a little longer. This is another option that we use. Speaking of coconut, so we don't use dairy or milk other than half and half for creamer. I was going to mention that in my coffee. And then the milk I turn into yogurt. We use almond milk, and then we also use coconut milk. And this is the full fat, and it's organic. And there's two different things. The most important thing when you're looking at any of these ingredients is that you want the fewer ingredients, the better. I can't remember. This one does have guar gum in it, and guar gum is used as a thickener, so it gives it a little bit more of that really thick texture to it. They do have guar gum free coconut milks as well, and you can do either one of those. This I reconstitute. So I take this full fat can, I put it in a 1/2 gallon mason jar, and I put 3 cans of my Berkey water. We use Berkey water here in the house. Use 3 cans of that, shake it up, and I use that in my smoothies. It's reconstituted coconut milk, and it's got really basically 2 ingredients. Super simple. Don't have to worry about any of the other junk that's in there. So that's that. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna cut some of this stuff out because I want to keep this on the quicker side. Mayonnaise. We use avocado oil mayonnaise. The most important thing about these things too, looking at how what oil is used to make the mayonnaise, they have different kinds that are like canola oil or even olive oil. You really have to look because sometimes they will put other ingredients in there too. This doesn't have, it has avocado oil, egg yolks, whole eggs, vinegar, mustard seeds, salt, organic spices, salt, rosemary extract. You'll see that in a lot of these natural things, they use rosemary extract as a preservative. How great is that to use a plant to keep things a little more shelf stable? No added sugar to this. That's what we're looking for when we're looking on the back of these ingredients. No sugar. Hard to find, but once you do, you'll love it. So here's another option. This is how we've chosen this pizza sauce as well. It is organic tomatoes, and there's no added sugar to this, which is so huge. And so you can use this, like I know that we've got lots of pizza lovers, and you can find a great crust, or you can make a crust. I don't know how you guys are with making things, but we love everything homemade. It's kind of the fun part of it. But this is a great option for using on pizza dough because it doesn't have extra added sugar. We look for that in all kinds of tomatoes. Even like tomatoes, just chopped tomatoes, sometimes have sugar and salt added to them. Go with the fewest ingredients, organic if possible. The other thing, so this is black beans, and I'm not showing you this for the black beans, but on the can, can't even talk, it also talks about the can not having a BPA lining. That is big too. Look for that on your cans. BPA is a coating inside of the cans that has been shown to lead to cancer. So we want to look even at the ingredients that are going into the cans that we've got too. 2 different kinds of ketchups. This one is all natural, but it has organic cane sugar. That's better than the alternative of having corn syrup added. But this one has no additional sweetening. And you guys, I don't miss it at all. This is a really great option for ketchup. Bone broth is huge. We use it a lot. I do want to talk about this because one of the things that we make quite a bit is actually things that taste cheesy but that are not cheesy. And this is nutritional yeast. It's really good. It's not yeast. It's not like a brewer's yeast, but you can add it to different dips and stuff. One time I remember making my sister a queso out of cashew, and she's like, there is no way you're going to get me to eat cashew queso. I will know it. Well, guess what? When I did it, she had no idea. This was an ingredient, soaked cashews, mustard. It's a great dairy-free option. We don't eat cashews a lot because they tend to carry mold in them, which is also not good for our bodies, but this is something that is super great. I wanted to show you this because it comes in bulk. It also comes in they make vinegar too, but one of the things, and so this is one of those that I want you to watch out for. This happens to be nutritional yeast that I got in bulk from the Vitamin Cottage, and it actually is supplemented with B vitamins, which is odd and important for people to be aware of because they do have nutritional yeast that is not supplemented with anything. This is important because it has the riboflavins, the thiamine, folic acid, which is a non-methylated form of folate. So people who have an MTHFR gene mutation, should not be getting the nutritional yeast that is fortified, because their body will not be able to do anything with those B vitamins in there, which is not good. Real quickly, we do seasonings that I do myself. This is taco seasoning. So I do my own spices. I mix it up in bulk. I'll share my recipes. And then when I'm cooking ground beef, I just use that and a can of tomatoes and some green chilies and have delicious tasting beef. I use grass-fed beef. This is a sprinkle that you can put on top of popcorn, and it tastes like Doritos. And again, nutritional yeast and some cumin and some great other seasonings. You're getting some good benefit from the nutritional yeast. It's so good. I make my own salad dressings, all of my own salad dressings. This is a dressing mix that I have for Italian dressing, and then I also do one for ranch. We make our own Thousand Island, like anything, any dressing, and we do include fat. I use olive oil for all of that, because your vegetables, most of the nutrients in them are fat soluble. So unless you have some fat with your vegetables, you're not actually absorbing the vitamins. One more thing that I want to, two more things, and then I'm going to cut it off and we can go through some of these other things later. Peanut butter. I have found this one. I love the flavor of it. It's a dark roasted peanut butter and it's chunky. My mom loves chunky peanut butter, not creamy. Because the only ingredients in this, peanuts and a little bit of salt. That's what you want to look for. And you don't have, like, once we stir this up, it doesn't separate. So you got the first initial stir, store it on the shelf, and it stays stirred up. You can see some that are stir-free. They add palm oil to it. So you're getting these extra oils in there that are not necessarily good for you, but unless you know that, you don't know that you're not getting something good for you. So I love this. Peanuts, salt, and that's it. So much more to cover. Let me cover this one too, because I have seen this recently. I love chocolate things. I use a vanilla protein powder, and I prefer it. I can make it into chocolate if I want to. There's different options of chocolate out there. This used to be our go-to until we knew better. And now we don't. Then I went to this because I thought that it was even better. It was better tasting. Here's what I want you to notice. Cocoa, cacao. Cocoa versus cacao. This is a little bit better. It's organic. Yeah, it is organic and good for cooking. But then I started reading about the actual true health benefits of cacao, and it's so amazing. It's so good for you. So if you're gonna add cacao or make brownies or anything, I recommend going for something like this. The flavor is delicious and it has all those really good phenols that are good for you in cocoa. That's it. Like, it's perfect that I end on chocolate, right? All different kinds of things. And I apologize for this going so long, but I'm looking at my table. There's different flours that I use. There's different things that I use for options for Mexican food. I'll share this, the Siete brand. It's more expensive, but it's made out of cassava flour, which is actually the root of a yucca. So you're not getting corn, which I stay away from corn because it actually hurts my stomach. I feel miserable, and it took me a long time to figure it out because I'm gluten intolerant, and so I am on a gluten-free, like all of my eating is gluten-free. And so I was having a lot of corn pastas, which were really delicious, and corn chips, and then on Mexican night, corn tortillas or corn, whatchamacallit, taco shells. And I got this like miserable pain to the point where I was like, something is happening to me, where I felt just absolutely like I'd been punched all the way up here in my stomach and just a miserable pain. And I kept thinking, no, it's on my favorite foods. It's like, it's when I'm having tacos, it's when I'm having spaghetti. It's those things that I love. And I figured out it was the corn. I have switched out the corn chips, the corn taco shells, and you guys, I can now eat my favorite foods again. So I have done some things. I miss flour tortillas. So we use cassava flour and make our own tortillas. And I don't miss now flour tortillas anymore. These are just a couple of the options. There are so many. Oh, but I have to share this with you too, because I buried this. Pickles. I read about this the other day. On pickles. These are not great for you. We like them, they're delicious, and we don't eat them all the time, and so we have them. Look on the ingredients. There are pickles that, this one, the color comes from turmeric, which is a good thing for us. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory, but a lot of pickles, and I was astounded when I saw this, use a blue and a yellow coloring to give the pickles their color. Are you kidding? Cornicones, these, nothing in them, all organic. There's not any extra colors or sweeteners or anything like that. Always be reading your labels. There are just a couple of things that I'm an absolute no on. One is carrageenan. I will share more about this later because it is so very important. And any artificial flavors, or sweeteners, which include sucralose, which is Splenda. So bad for us, so bad for us. It's in diet sodas, it's in all different kinds of things. Terrible. And everything else I'm like in moderation, but those are those two things: carrageenan, sucralose, anything aspartame, any of those fake sugars. Those are bad. That's it. 22 minutes, and I apologize for the length, but you guys, so much information. If anything piques your interest, let me know. I will share whatever I can about this. And then as you guys have things that you want me to take a look at, let's look at the ingredients and figure out if there's a better option, or if you're knocking it out of the park already. I love seeing those things, but you guys celebrate. This is a lot. This has taken us years. And as you can see, we're not perfect. We still have a lot of room to improve, and that's okay. But every day we're getting better, and every day you'll get better too, as long as you have the information. I'm so glad that you guys listened, and please let me know if you've learned something or if there's something else that you want to learn, and I will share that with you too. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.